This week was Module 6. Um, it was about Google. The first part of the assignment was to go to the Google Fundamental Training site and go to Unit 3 and 4. On Unit 3, I found like the classroom section of it was really interesting because I didn't know that you could use Google in that way. I think this would be a useful tool maybe for older kids, maybe for like middle school to high school kids, because you can add your students, you can communicate to them more effectively. As a teacher with older kids, you can um, talk to them through email. If they have questions, they can email you. um, I think that's a great way, a great tool to have, just to help your students out, just to keep them on track. Unit 4 was about the email, how you can add members to your account, to a calendar. Um, I have a Google account, Gmail, and I use it quite frequently. I think I use it more than my Hayes email account because I feel like it's just, it's every day. I go there every day. I use the calendar, I use everything. It's already linked up on my phone, and so I know where everything is at. I think it's something I would incorporate into my classroom and into my uh, daily activities. Communication wise with parents, I think it's good to have a professional email account. My kids as teachers all have email uh, addresses that I can talk through, um, and it's based off of Google, and I find it very useful to be able to communicate with the teachers through this because I can get updates, and I'm not having to call them, but I'm getting updates of my kids, um, what they're learning, what they're doing, and I think it's a very good tool. Um, I think if would choose to get certified in this, I think it would help, but I don't know. It's kind of a toss up of, you know, some people are like, okay, great, you know. Some schools will be like, oh, that's great that she's certified in this and she has a certification in this. And then other schools will be like, well, we don't really use this as much. We use other sites. So I think it would be a toss up of, how beneficial would it be. Um, I honestly think I would consider completing this, getting certification in this, because I'm always about how can I further myself in a career, how can I better myself um, to be a better educator, a better worker. Um, Anything that can help me in the long run, I will do. Um, After working with the Google Slides, I chose slides. I didn't do spreadsheets and presentations and documents. Um, I chose slides. It's I can I've used Google Docs before as well, and it's typing up a like you would in Word. I think it's a little easier because all it's accessible. I can access it and I can just click you know the check mark and it's there and it's done and it's already to go. Um, Slides is like PowerPoint. It's similar to that. I think it's once it's completed, you can just check it and go. Um, I think it's that like I said, the advantage is like once you're done, you are able to click on it. You're able to you know send it to the web quicker than when you would like with a Word document. You have to go into like you're sending it to someone. You have to go through your email address, attach it to your email account, and send it. With a Google Doc, it's already there. Add your email addresses that you want, and it's already accessed. And once you update it, if it's with a group, they can see the changes, and they're able to, add on or edit. That's I've used this in the past classes, and I found that to be really useful. The only thing I didn't like about it is that, like with PowerPoints, I have more options of, editing, and I guess I would like to say more control over how I um, write or how I want my PowerPoint to be. Maybe because I'm more familiar with PowerPoints and Word, because we, have all been taught, Word documents, PowerPoints from very early on. Google Docs is, and the Google spreadsheets and everything else. I mean, they're similar, but we haven't, really been trained in it as younger kids are being using it. I think it's important to use them because, a lot of kids nowadays are using them in the classroom, and I think it's important to be able to know what you're doing, and I think it's necessary to understand what you're doing. Um, anyway, cat's always photobombing. Um, this week was really informative, and I found it to be really helpful. Like I said, I've used Google Slides and Google Docs for previous classes, and I really liked it because it was easier to make changes instead of having to attach a document and send it to that email address. It was just easier to have, that group, have that information, update it, change, and just email them, hey, I made these changes. I think it's just a lot easier to use than, I would say, the traditional way. Anyway, that's what I learned this week, and I guess I'll see y'all next week.